Are you taking the SAT soon? If so, stay tuned because in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about some big changes that the College Board just announced to the SAT program. My name is Brooke. I've been an SAT prep coach and tutor for over a decade and a half. I've scored perfectly on the SAT as an adult, but more importantly, I've prepped a student to a perfect score and many more students to 99th percentile scores. You can check out my online course at SupertutorTV.com. We also have a course for the ACT and a couple of books on Amazon for the ACT math section that you can find there. I'm also on social, so you can check us out there, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our mailing list if you want to find out more news like what we're going to cover today. SupertutorTV.com/subscribe, and we'll keep you in the know of everything we've got going on. Okay, so College Board, what is going on? The announcement that came out this week is that the College Board wanted to, quote, reduce and simplify demands on students. Several changes coming to the SAT program, some of them pretty big. The first one is SAT subject tests, sayonara. We are not going to see any more SAT subject tests. And here's the timeline. First of all, if you're a US student, and you already signed up for it, it has been canceled. Congratulations, you don't have to take it anymore. The College Board has decided for you. International students can still take these exams, the subject tests, because they often don't have AP programs available. So international students can still take these tests through June of 2021. But it sounds like international students are not going to have the option to take these after this year. The College Board isn't entirely clear, but they do say that we're discontinuing the tests. So if you're an international student and you want to get a subject test in for college admissions for some reason, take it now or forever hold your peace. And for everyone else, woohoo, no more subject tests. Fun times. Now, why is the College Board doing this and what is going to happen to all of those colleges that were requiring subject tests? Well, the College Board is doubling down on the AP program. So basically what they're saying is colleges, you should be using AP tests for admission, not just subject tests. Kind of an interesting take because the subject test was different from the AP exam in that an AP exam pairs with a course. So usually the only way that you would take an AP exam would be if you took the AP class and then you are eligible to then take the AP exam. And the AP exams are only given once a year and you got one shot. So there are some disadvantages to the AP program, particularly for students who don't attend schools that have AP classes. But for the most part, this is probably cause for celebration because you guys can just focus on everything else in your life instead of taking more standardized tests. You can focus on the SAT, you can focus on AP exams, and then be done. Woohoo! And also it costs a lot of money for the College Board to develop a lot of different tests when they could just double down on a single test and get more people to take it, right? It makes sense for you guys, it makes sense for them. It's also kind of puzzling that there were two tests for a long time because they're both given by the same company. You guys might not realize it, but the College Board both administers the AP exams and the subject tests. And they're very similar. And I usually would recommend that students prep for them and align their calendars so they can kind of take them at the same time. So if you're taking AP Physics, I would recommend that you took the AP subject test at the same time. But now you don't have to worry about that anymore. You just have to take one test. Second, no more SAT essay. This one I am so excited about because I have been a critic of the most recent version of the SAT essay. I have seen kind of scores come back on students I have from this program, and I see great writers get mediocre scores, and I scratch my head and I wonder why. I see mediocre students get mediocre scores, and I go, okay, that makes sense. And I see very cookie cutter writers who write the 5-paragraph essay out of a textbook, and it's dull and it's not that interesting, and it is very organized though, get perfect scores on the SAT essay, and I scratch my head and I go, why are there these discrepancies? We don't have to worry anymore because the essay is going away. You can still take the SAT with essay through June 2021, but I would recommend at this point, if they're scrapping the thing, you don't have to take this because nobody in the fall is even allowed to take it, so colleges can't require it anymore. Third, last change to the SAT. The College Board is investing in a, quote, more flexible SAT, a streamlined, digitally delivered test that meets the evolving needs of students in higher education. So it looks like we're looking at changes to the SAT. Now, so far it looks like they're just looking at delivery format as the change to the SAT, not necessarily content changes. But you never know with the College Board exactly what's going to come down the pipeline. So there could also be changes to the SAT, and they're going to be announcing that later in the spring, what this flexible SAT is going to look like. I would guess they may even start to offer the SAT in more than one format in the same way that ACT does. You guys might not be aware of it, but you can actually take the ACT on paper or on a computer. Most school districts in the US still administer the ACT on paper, but some select places may offer it on computers. Internationally, the ACT has moved 100% to computerized testing. We'll see what College Board does. I think we'll probably see a hybrid for a few years in here, and then they may move to a fully digitally delivered test in the same way that the GRE is a digitally delivered test. And there are many other exams that are digitally delivered at this point and not on paper for graduate school. So we're kind of going in that direction, it looks like, but we will see. As a prep tutor, if you ever have an option to take it on paper, I always recommend taking the test on paper because there is an invaluable asset that you have in being able to use your pencil, right? You can underline. Generally, people read about 20% faster on paper than from a screen. I find that we make fewer careless errors when you're on paper because you can underline, you can circle, you can really dig into the text. There's this connection that you have with the page that it can be harder to get with a screen. But you know, at the end of the day, there is some good news from all this. So now let's talk about the good news for people in a year of COVID-19. Upside number one is all the seats that were going to be taken up by kids taking SAT subject tests. The College Board is freeing up to give to people to take the SAT itself. So those of you who tried to sign up for an SAT in March and your school was full, well, guess what? They're going to boot all the people on the subject test and you might get a spot to take the regular SAT. So that's exciting news. The second exciting news for COVID test takers, and this is just another point from the College Board, is that they have committed to expanding capacity for existing administrations and adding administrations in the fall. So just like this past 2020 fall, where we had an extra exam in September, the College Board is committing to potentially adding another fall exam for those of you who are taking the SAT if there are continued cancellations and problems with testing, delays due to COVID-19, etc. In any case, there you go. New changes from the College Board. I think most of these, if you're a student, are cause for celebration. Are there any impacts that you want to be aware of that you might not see right away? Some sort of like, what's the smoky lining to this cloud, as I like to say? One would be AP testing is going to become more important, and it's no longer going to just be this idea of, oh, we don't look at AP exams for college admissions. We only look at the subject tests. AP exams are going to officially fall into the category of admission tests, which they didn't 100% used to be, and there was kind of this divide, and colleges started to kind of use them as admissions tests, even though, 20 years ago, colleges didn't look at them at all for the most part. But I think the AP exams are going to become more important in college admissions, so that's change number one. Change number two, I think we're going to see an uptick in students taking AP exams who never took an AP course. So we're going to see an uptick in AP preparation. We may even see AP administrations of tests at schools where the AP course isn't offered. I'm not quite sure how the College Board plans to do this because of getting rid of the subject test, but I would guess that that might be the direction we're going. They may even start offering them internationally, who knows? Then it also may create a little bit of an inequity. Not all high schools offer AP exams, but an AP exam is meant to test you over your entire coursework in a course that is designed to prep you for that exam. So if you go to a school without AP courses, you are at a natural disadvantage for taking the AP exam. And that's something that could create some inequity in testing, right? If a bunch of kids have dedicated courses at their high school that's preparing them for this exam and you don't, and you go and take the AP test anyway, you could be at a disadvantage. Computerized testing, I already told you guys about the pitfalls of working on a computer. It's harder. It's going to be harder for you guys, but that is what it is. And then the essay. What are we going to see happen because the SAT essay is gone, you might ask? I would guess some schools are going to want some essay from your classwork at this point to verify that you're the writer of your college essays. Historically, schools have used the SAT essay in many cases to verify that you're the person who wrote your college essays. A lot of schools have been opaque in how they use the SAT essay. They haven't necessarily told you whether they use it for admission, whether they use it to double check that you're the person who wrote your college essays and you didn't outsource it to someone on the internet. But I would expect an uptick in colleges requiring you to hand in a paper you wrote for class, maybe even hand in an in-class essay of some sort, something along those lines. So there you have it. I hope you guys like this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. And I will see you guys next time on Super Tutor TV. Stay safe, stay healthy out there. Bye for now.